Thanksgiving is a time to reunite with family, catch up on some things. I mean, if you see a good series, you say, cool, you saw a good series. But if you saw a shitty series, then you'd be like, oh shit, mine was worse. This is Minty.
This is Annie.
And this is FunUntitled. We said every podcast with an F you. So, me and Annie don't watch all the same animes, especially if we don't think it's gonna be good. So we kind of watch it on our own. And then we're like, oh, it's 12 episodes. It can't be that bad. And if it is, then it's not that long. But holy shit, if it's a crappy series, 12 episodes long.
You know what's funny? Mine's 11 because one of them's a recap episode. Still terrible.
Oh, I don't remember. But anyway, so me and Annie have decided that we're gonna pit our two 12-ish episodes and see which one had it worse. My choice is High Rise Invasion that you can find on Netflix.
My choice is Darwin's Game, also found on Netflix.
Is it? Oh yeah, it is.
Now I know you're asking, hey Annie, did you just so happen to watch the first episode of Squid Game, decided a little too depressing, then went to Darwin's Game? Yes. I didn't know Squid Game was going to become like the #1 show of the year.
Is Squid Game a death? It is a death game kind of series, right?
Yeah, it's that kind of... I didn't realize there was a giant genre of this shit. Like, the very first manga I read of this was Liar Game, and I thought that's the most unique shit I've ever read. And then I find out it's a whole ass genre.
There's also the Dead Man Wonderland.
Oh yeah.
It's interesting. We haven't seen Squid Game, so every single death game kind of series I've seen, I've never liked. I feel like they just get too deep, but it's not like, it's just kind of cliche.
Yeah.
So maybe one day we'll see Squid Game, who knows?
Well, what's High Rise Invasion? That's basically Darwin's Game. I'll get more into it later, but it's like a death game.
Yes, it is. How did we both find a death game? Because we both didn't really talk to each other about our series. We just both knew that we saw a crappy series.
Oh, I didn't know High Rise Invasion was a death game.
Yeah, so the basic premise is a girl named Yuri Hanjo. She is one day wakes up in a mysterious world. Well, it's all blue skies and skyscrapers. And the skyscrapers are connected to each other by like bridges. And that's all you see, right?
Jeff Bridges.
But there are people who wears masks and are trying to kill her. Does she know why? No. All she has is a cell phone that she can call her brother, who is in the world too, but they can't communicate on how to find each other. So her goal is to survive, because the masked people are trying to kill her. Well, technically, they're not trying to kill her, but they are trying to torment people who don't have masks and get them to commit suicide by falling off the skyscrapers.
You know what's funny? That reminds me of a movie called Cadaver, where it's basically just a bunch of masked people walking around this mansion, and everyone without masks are like, we're gonna eat them.
Okay, you know what? Like, the idea of masks is not that scary, especially how most people do it with just the white mask with a black face. And it's like, why? Like, what is this? Then you like find out about like alternative drag, do like Dragula, and it's like, how come more people don't have masks like these if they're gonna do like a horror movie? Like, some horror movies do. I'm not saying all of them don't.
Yeah, the Burlap Sap.
Yeah, but like these death game series, even Liar Game was just a white mask.
I mean, you have to draw it every single time.
Hey, if you can draw regular people, you should be able to commit to drawing,
I don't know, I'm a puss because there's a lot of these kind of games where they wear animal masks to hide their identity. Freaks me the fuck out.
No, I don't want I don't want normal masks or like plain mask. I want like gruesome pinhead kind of mask.
Oh, you just want like Mike Myers from Halloween walking around?
Yeah, like skin being pulled, muscle being shown. That I feel like is the scariest thing ever, is when you pick something kind of humane and like torture it. Because you can feel like a potato skin grinding right against your own flesh and like leaving like little skin flakes. That's an actual torture.
I know. I told you, Minty, I'm being haunted by horror films. Why do you have to go here? That reminds me of you know that series Midsommar? It was compared to High School Musical because like there was a girl wearing all flowers and it looked like Zac Efron wearing all flowers.
I have no idea.
Basically, in that movie, it's a bunch of cultists, and they skin one of the British tourists, I think, and they wear his face as a mask.
It's been done at this point.
I know, but I
mean, the visuals, I'm sure, is freaky, but hearing about it's like, You're not very good visualizing things anyways. What did you see?
Well, that one I actually saw the clip, and I was like, oh, that's sweet. I don't like it. No.
I don't know why you watch horror movies. You really don't like horror.
I have a roller coaster of when I'm at the high, I'm like, I I'm immune to horror. I can read as much as I can. Then I reach a tipping point and I go, I'm too scared to do anything. My life is in constant danger. In the next minute, I will be put into a death game. I'm alright.
You're stupid. You're just beyond stupid, that's why.
That's why Good Game just kind of depressed me, right? But Darwin's Game's like, I don't give a shit about any of these losers. They're anime people.
I don't know if I've seen a really good horror anime. Because after a while, it's just like, eh. Like when you're not a kid anymore, they're just like, whatever. A lot of blood, okay. Arm gets chopped off, whatever. It's because it's usually like high, fast speed cutting off. It's not like Saw where they're like literally like, and it's like hours on end before they cut the arm off.
What's funny about Darwin's Game? It's not horror. Anyone who tells me it's horror can shove it up their butthole. Because the whole game is basically, there's an app game called Darwin's Game. People download the app and they're forced into the game, not forced into the game like Doc Hacksign, but they're forced to participate, in which they have to participate in battles, a death battle, where basically the whole thing is just no clever game or anything, it's just kill each other. But the only thing is that each player gets something called a sigil, which lets them have like a supernatural power, which they don't explain how they get it. Maybe that's in the book. But right now, the whole premise is a bunch of rich assholes watching these players fight for their lives, and somehow they have magic now.
At least you have sigils. This main girl is like super good at killing people, and she's like a high schooler, and she's like mentally okay with all this.
I mean, okay, see, high-rise invasion, right? Is there anything interesting? Because right now, I'll tell you this, Darwin's Game is almost beat for beat, just Future Diaries.
Oh, I like Future Diary though.
Yeah, but this is Future Diaries, but they do everything wrong and boring.
No, we're going over who had the worst series. Cause all we know is that the masked people, when they wear the mask, they're being hypnotized to do evil things. And then they get these like crazy powers to be not like Superman strong, but they have like these very extraordinary powers.
So this is just running from people with guns and superhuman strength?
Yeah, pretty much. There might be some lesbians in this series.
Oh, shit.
Cause she meets a girl, this blonde girl named Mayuko Nisei. But it was weird because they meet and like the blonde girl wants her dead and they try to kill each other. But then Yuri saves her and then it's like, Yuri, lesbians. And now Mayuko's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna be a tomboy, but man, am I into you. And I'm like, this is weird. You guys literally just tried to kill each other and you guys really have no reason to team up.
Do you think kids these days knows what yaoi and yui is?
Hell yeah. It's the first thing you learn.
I learned it from the paddles.
Yeah, well, there's new ways of learning. Like free internet porn.
Nice. I just love this idea of people tagging it as yaoi and yui.
These are basically the only two main there's some other shit, but if you want to talk about how shitty your characters are.
Okay, so we have the main character, Kaname Sudo. He kind of just gets roped into Darwin's Game.
Boy.
Yeah, he's a dude.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, I know this progressive shit. A girl? No thank you. How am I supposed to self-project on a girl? Come on.
It's just the fan service in mine is ridiculous. It's not like over the top.
Like how bad is it like compared to Fairy Tail?
No, I'm just saying like episode 1, they try to hook you in through like a groping scene.
Nice.
So, whatever. And there's like other scenes, because it's 2 girls, right?
Yeah.
The other one like gets into her underwear. Not like lacy shit. Again, high schoolers.
Yeah.
So it's like you only have 2 girls so you could have the little bit of fan service and lesbians.
The problem with Darwin's Game, right? There's no appeal whatsoever. Because there's no deep messages whatsoever. It's he accidentally participated in this game because his friend sent him an invite. Because you get points in this game that you can buy weapons or make into real money, yada yada yada. He used his points to force his friend Kaname Sudo to join the game to help him. Episode 1 is basically the rookie killer, which is basically a panda, goes after him and he's like, oh
a
shit.
Panda?
Sorry, he's not the panda from Jujutsu Kaisen. Okay. He's just a guy wearing a panda mask.
Like from One Piece?
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
So Kaname's basically just running away from this panda and he doesn't know his sigil yet because, he just got the game and the panda can turn invisible. You guess how the fight ends? Guess. Because if you think he does anything, you're wrong. The panda gets hit by a car randomly. And then they're like, whoa, Kaname, big man on campus. You got him hit by a car.
I mean, that's his powers. Motor vehicle accidents.
So he's like, I don't know how to play this game. And then randomly this blonde girl's
Wait,
like,
what's the setting?
it's modern Tokyo.
You have a video game where you play in modern Tokyo?
Yeah, it'd be like that. It's ARG, baby.
What's ARG?
All augmented reality, whatever. Because it's, like, sometimes you need your phone to do things, that's why. Like, later on, they had to go to a scavenger hunt. They need ARG to find the things they're looking for.
Are they playing Pokemon Go?
Man, life or death, Pokemon Go. No, and then this blonde girl, her name is Shuka Karino, is like, ooh, I always look at the new players, and you're cute. Meet me in an abandoned warehouse, and I'll tell you how to play the game. So Kaname goes meet her in the warehouse, and she's like, what's your sigil? I can't trust you if I don't know your sigil. And he's like, you wanna know my what? I have no idea what you're talking about. And she's like, it's on your profile? And he's like, oh. So she's like, well, I'm gonna kill you then, because if you don't know it, then you sus. And that's when you find out Kaname has something called the Fire God's Hammer, where he can basically, if he touches a weapon, he can recreate it. So he just conjure a single gun out of the air. And she's like, ooh, woo, I'm like the #1 player in this game. Well, she's not the #1. She's like the #1 in the area. I'm like quaking, you win.
She's a girl. There's no way she was #1.
No, the #1, yeah, I believe the #1 is a girl. God, she sucks though. She's like a weird rapist who, like, she has a sword technique where if she cuts you, you visualize your own death. And she needs that bloodline to go on. She tries to rape the main protagonist.
That's progression.
Yep, that's... So it's kind of like, yes, I defeated you with my one gun. You are now my bitch. And she's like, okay, this is feminism.
At its finest, female rapist and a female servant. It's a bell curve, guys.
So that's my episode 1. That's the shit I have to go through.
I mean, there wasn't much to my episode 1 because you meet my blonde girl in episode 2 because there is no invitation in mine. She's literally dropped in the world and she's told to survive and not get killed by the masked people. I don't know. She has like this weird heart of gold, but it's like, how does that work with you being totally okay with killing people? Like, she's not a psychopath, but I mean, I'm not saying she kills people with a smile, but she's definitely killing people and be like, I am A-okay if that means my survival.
You know what pisses me off the most? This is kind of jumping the gun. In Darwin's game, so Kaname's like, we can't kill people. That's unethical. Then like the whole shit's happened. His friend gets his fingers cut off. And then he's okay with killing now. Because he was like, you know what? Maybe I was chicken shit. Maybe killing's the way to go. But at the end, he's like, don't kill anyone, you guys. And a guy literally next to him is going, why did you kill everyone on the roof? He's like, to send a message, bitch. He's like, hey, you literally flip-flop sides in 30 seconds. What the fuck is going on?
You know, deep psychological torture where the main character has to change their mind constantly just so that it makes it feel complicated, but in reality it's like, just move on with the plot, please.
Here's another reason why Kaname is terrifying, because he's clearly supposed to be a self-insert. You're supposed to put yourself in his role if you are a Japanese male.
Brown hair, hair's down but spiky and a little bob-like.
Yeah. His whole thing is that he can be unhinged if pushed. And it's like, is that the male fantasy?
I think so. To go wild and have an excuse that you're justified in it? Yeah, I think it's everyone's fantasy.
God, this is how white people get guns. Yeah, I mean, okay, what about your side characters? Any of them good?
I have 2 characters. There's also her brother, who I don't know what his deal is, because he's been in the world much longer, but it's not like he was missing, because she wasn't like, oh my god, I found you again, it's just like, you're here. There's also this other guy who has a mask. We call him Sniper Mask, because he has a sniper gun. And because, like I said, the people in the mask are being mind controlled, and he has a connection with the brother, but clearly this dude is older than the brother, and his memories are him, like, they're like at least the same age. So I'm like, are you the dad? What's going on here? It's very confusing and also not very interesting that I don't even give a shit. Because the whole point of this world is to create a god. There are some people who don't have a mask, but they can control people with masks. And they become God's candidate. So they become a candidate to become the next god. Eventually, Yuri does become a candidate to become the next god. And and Mayuko eventually puts on a mask to get mask abilities. But her mask that she put on was defective, so she's not completely brainwashed. And there's some weird skill tree with these gods candidates, but there's no starting point. You just start wherever in this tree, and you try to expand your powers. So nobody knows what powers you have. But there's this one fucking girl who's like super annoying, but she's the most powerful because she can literally do like, you know when you see those laser beams from space destroying an entire building?
Yep.
That's what she can do. And I think she's in love with Sniper Mask, but again, there's at least a decade difference between the two, and it's like, I don't know if I can ship it. I don't ship more of the weird Sniper Mask than the brother, but honestly, don't give a fuck. They might be brothers. From the little spoilers I've seen, they might be brothers.
I don't know why, High-Wise Invasion sounds like it has giant vibes from another death game series called Alice in Borderlands, where it's basically teleport to a world, they have no idea how they got there, everyone came at different time intervals, like someone's been here for 3 months, some people just came, but like, no time has passed. And then, lasers come from the sky.
Oh, I guess so. Although only one girl has the power.
I mean, you saw that and was like, I gotta give it to at least one girl. I mean, do you have any, does High-Wise Invasion have their own arcs?
No. There's the arc before you meet the main villain, and then there's the arc of after you meet the main villain. I don't remember the main villain at all. He's just this normal dude who's a god's candidate, but he has control over a lot of masked people. Because it kind of starts slow, right? You can control 1, then somebody else has 2, and then this guy has 30.
It's like a pyramid scheme.
Damn. Besides the first episode, I felt like everything just kind of went downhill. You know those series where it's like they just really want to hook you with the first episode, but you knew that's all they really had? They didn't really have enough ideas to make it a full series.
Yeah.
That's what this series kind of felt like, because I didn't feel like it had enough torture or gruesomeness. It just became kind of monotonous after a while, and it was just the same old murder you can find in any anime.
That's another thing these animes have problems with. The tone is kind of at a 5, and then they have one scene that's at a 8, and you're like, where did that come from? When it goes back to a 5, they couldn't live up to the hype, and it's like, you chicken dog shits.
Yeah, and then one thing I do like was when Yuri killed someone and she started taking the stuff to use, then she stopped doing that, and I'm like, you always gotta take the shoes.
You always gotta loot. They have nice shoes. Everyone's shoes is always nicer than you. That's where the line came from. The grass is greener on the other shoe.
I mean, she did steal someone's boots, but besides that, I don't really remember how this series ends. All I know is that she has to find her brother. There is a helicopter that, there's a random helicopter that they are assuming takes you out of the world. Oh, and there's angels and they have a different role, but I don't remember what that was. So Yuri's goal in the end becomes she wants to destroy whoever created this world, and she needs to go save her brother because her brother got kidnapped by the main villain. And I'm like, whoa, can y'all just leave? I know he's your brother, but your brother told you some fucked up things. Like to kill your lesbian friend. Can't kill the lesbian.
That's what I would tell you.
Can't kill the lesbian.
I'll be like, that lesbian got weed? No? Kill her.
Yeah, what's the point of your series?
The point of my series is that you cannot leave Darwin's game, by you have to wait till the goal is accomplished, but no one knows what the goal is. So Kaname Sudo, his entire thing is to complete the game so that way no one had to participate anymore. Because, hey, this is literally the arc structure. I can sum it up real quick for season 1 on Netflix. Episode 1, he takes down 2 big players. Episode 2, he goes get ready for a treasure hunt. Yada 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 yada. He finds the treasure, and he gets to talk to the creator, not the creator of the game, but he's the guy who designed the app. And he's like, you get a privilege. And he's like, I want to leave this game. It's like, that's not a privilege. That's quitting. Don't be a quitter, dipshit. So Kaname, he gets a really, really stupid privilege, but he got to choose it, so And then one of the guys he fought during the scavenger hunt was like, hey, you tricked me? I didn't like that, so I'm going to fucking chop off the fingers of your friend and then pickle them and then eat them. And Kaname's like, you made me unhinged. I'm going to disband your clan. I'm literally now changing my entire morals from don't kill anyone to kill everyone to make them quit the game. And it's like,
I thought you couldn't quit though.
You can quit one way, by dying. If you kill them, they're not in the game, are they?
Technicalities?
And then there's this whole thing where the girl, she hugs him and it's like, hey, Kaname, like, I know you're gonna start a clan, which is basically, you know, if you never played a MMORPG, it means like you have a guild full of other players to help you do missions. Well, she's like, if you want to start the clan, the Sunset Ravens, I'm all up for it, but please, I cannot lose you. And spoiler alert, I didn't, you know, I'm not caught up to the series. I'm pretty sure she's gonna lose him. I'm pretty sure he's gonna go off the deep end.
No, they're gonna have babies.
No, because I've seen some spoilers and she's like, man, I wish he wasn't insane. And this is coming from a blonde Lolita girl who can control chains like string.
Gonna have a baby.
Gonna have a baby. That pisses me off because literally in episode 1, he's like, what do you want? And she's like, let's start a family. And
I told you.
She's completely naked. Then episode 2, and she's like, yeah, I meant a game family. What the fuck did you think I meant? And so I hate this series so much because it tries to be deep, but it's not. Like, this one guy, his name is Ruji. His sigil is literally called lie detector. He can tell if someone's lying. And his whole character growth was like, oh, I have a really shitty sigil. But Kaname, like, at the climax is like, hey bro, I'm about to help you get some self-confidence and teach you that your sigil isn't shitty. When in reality, it's still shitty. It's a fucking lie detector in a death game.
Is Darwin's Game a Netflix only series?
I have no idea.
All I'm saying is that Netflix has got some pretty shitty animes. Not including the obvious popular ones. You know, like Fullmetal, One Piece. But the ones that's kind of not well known, and especially if it's a Netflix exclusion, are usually pretty shitty. Except Baki's pretty good. But that's all we have to say, I guess. I don't want to get too long.
I gotta decide.
Oh, it's High Rise Invasion.
Yo, weirdly enough, I'm gonna have to say yes. High Rise Invasion sounds really shitty because Darwin's Game at least had like something mind-numbing. High Rise Invasion seemed like it was just fan service and groping.
No, that wasn't a big part, but it was just the fact that it tried to be like this psychological thriller, mystery, suspense, horror thing. I think it fell short in every aspect and it just became very confusing. Cause I can get behind like murdering all the people and losing your morale. I can't get behind a sunshine girl in a dark world. Like fuck that.
I mean, yeah, so you won. Thanksgiving Miracle.
Hey, like I said, High Rise Invasion is a Netflix series, so it's really shitty.
Yeah, don't watch either of these series. Like, we told you everything that happened.
Watch Baki.
High Rise Invasion and Darwin's Game, for all intents and purposes, is, I believe, in the final arc already over.
Probably? I have no idea.
Yeah, so don't worry about it. They can't hurt you.
Bye.